Hey guys, today I'm back with the console tier lists, but this time, it's PlayStation. And I'm gonna repeat last video's disclaimer. Consoles with multiple versions or models will only count as one. Alright, let's get started. First off, the original PlayStation. Released in 1995, this was the one that started it all for Sony. The original plan was a collaboration with Nintendo to create a console similar to the Super Nintendo, but using CDs, and it had the name PlayStation. Nintendo backed off at the last minute to partner up with Philips. But Sony did not give up on the project, and since they had major developers on their side and would come off as pioneer of 3D gaming. For this reasons, it became a massive success and sold in total 120 million units, but if you analyze some of its brothers you will find out what greatness truly is, so I will place it at A. And they couldn't have followed with a better console. The PlayStation 2 is still considered one of the greatest, if not the greatest console of all time, having sold about 155 million units in total. It came out in 2000, so it was a couple of years ahead of Xbox and Nintendo, and even with their consoles being more powerful, the fact that it played DVDs was deemed as the console of the future by its creators and could play some of the greatest games of its generation like GTA San Andreas, Vice City and 3, God of War and Resident Evil 4, were a key factor for its enormous sales. This console in my opinion impacted generations like no other, and it will still be remembered for years to come, and for that it deserves an S. And now, Sony's first attempt of transferring the PlayStation experience to handheld. Released in 2005, the PlayStation Portable or PSP was a success. Capable of playing the always great PlayStation exclusives, being able to connect to PS2s and 3s, and also being able to watch movies or play music attracted a lot of customers to buy this console, which resulted in a total of 81 million units sold. It has a great design and is very comfortable for play. It had many models, with the PSP E1000 being my favorite. And with this great introduction to handheld, I placed the PSP at A. After that we go back to home console with the release of the PS3 in 2006 not being the biggest milestone ever. It was the first PlayStation with a menu, online capabilities, and being able to read Blu-ray. Even though it was the most powerful console of its generation, it's often overshadowed by the mighty Xbox 360. It did sell a great 87 million units, but overall it was in my opinion a big step down from the streak they were in by losing many fans to Xbox. Not that it's their fault, but it happened. So I'm gonna place the PS3 in B, still a great console. Then back to handheld it was with the release of the PS Vita in 2012. It could play both PS3 games and Vita original. And later with the release of the PS4, it could stream PS4 games. Its main rivals at the time were the 2 and 3DS that did sell really well, which made the PS Vita only sell 16 million units. It's more of a PSP2 than anything else, so I'll also place it B. Then everything changed once again, and Sony cooked so hard that they created a monster of a console. The PS4 was released in 2013 and it was a massive jump from the PS3, having internal 5 times faster, which allowed a huge improvement in the visual quality of games. The latter took advantage of this since the catalog of games for this console is one of the best of all time. It had Horizon, Marvel's Spider-Man, one of my personal favorites Uncharted 4, and Red Dead Redemption 2. It launched in the same year as the Xbox One, but it didn't have any trouble beating it since this one is considered by most the worst Xbox console, selling a good 58 million units, while the PS4 blew that out of the window with 117 million units sold. Its controller, the DualShock 4, was also a big step from the previous DualShock 3, offering a more ergonomic design to aid in long sessions of play, and a touchpad for different ways to interact with the games. The PS4 is the console I've played the most in my life by far, and maybe I only think it's so good because of nostalgia, but I'm giving it an S regardless. Then Sony's most recent console, the PS5, was released in 2020, the COVID year as you may know. It is the most powerful PlayStation by far, supporting ray tracing, 120 FPS and 4K. About the games, there have been some good releases like Final Fantasy XVI, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and Demon's Souls. And the console also provides backwards compatibility with the PS4 so you can play PS4 games in it. Its controller, the DualSense, is also an improvement from the previous one, having a more refined shape and adding immersive haptic feedback, dynamic adaptive triggers and a built-in microphone. Alongside it, Microsoft released the Xbox Series X and Series S. Nobody really decided which of these is the best for two reasons: they are still in their lifetime, so they haven't been discontinued yet, and they do basically all the same things. The Xbox Series X might be a little more powerful, but I think the PS5 has gained more popularity since its release. At the time, it has sold 59 million units. Overall, I don't think the console has reached its full potential just yet, which is fair for being out for only 4 years. It's an amazing console, sure, but it's not as great as the ones at S, yet. So I'm giving it an A. Alright guys, this is all for today. Subscribe to the channel, like that smash button and comment if you feel so inclined. See you in the next one, bye.